Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Today we're going to take another stab at MSI Z170A Gaming M5 board. Quick recap what happened so far. The board would boot on i3, it would not boot on i5. We updated the BIOS using the tools provided by the manufacturer. Using the binary from the manufacturer and the procedure, the flashing tool provided with the board. The flashing was successful. It went to trying to boot to Windows. Then we switched the CPU back to i5. It wouldn't boot, so we switched back to i3 and it wouldn't boot. We connected NVMe and the board now doesn't start at all. So that's pretty much what we did. And today what I'm gonna do is let's dump this BIOS, this updated BIOS as a backup, and let's revert to the previous BIOS. Now the question is, could the BIOS update damage the board? Technically it is possible. It's rather unlikely the way we did it. It's not like I just pulled any old BIOS that I found on the internet and flashed it directly on the chip. We used the actual tool, so I assume there is some validation and stuff. So I don't think that would cause the board to be damaged. And now, meanwhile, let's talk about the job market. If you are like me, and you've been looking for a job for a little while now, in my case it's over 2 weeks. Today we are on day 17. However, I did stop looking for a few days this week. I stopped applying and searching because I had a side project, so I figured let's give it a few days. I completed the project last night. It totaled like 4, maybe 5 days, so not bad for the budget that the project was assigned. Not awesome money, but better than nothing, that's for sure. So, as I said, I would update my resume, which I did. I made it a lot shorter. I also found some typos and some adjustments, so I'm just kind of grooming the resume, and I started applying again. But what I noticed is that there are no jobs. There are no jobs to apply to. That's the main issue. If you're having issues finding a job, it's not because you can't find a job. It's because the jobs aren't there. That's the main reason. Or it definitely feels like it. You see the same ones, the same listings popping here and there. But you actually, so to some listings I apply and I either get a rejection or I'm ghosted. Standard stuff, right? And then I see that listing reposted, and it just kind of feels like that poses the question: are they actually looking for someone, or they just have that listing up for whatever reason? I've heard several speculations regarding that the position is technically open, and the company is actively recruiting, but the company doesn't want that position filled. They just want it to be open for, and reasons for that. It's or at least the speculations that I've heard were that it impacts the visibility of the company, that it impacts its value on the stock market or something like that. And the perception of the company is better if when they're hiring. If the company is not hiring, it doesn't look good. And if you rely on investors, it makes sense. So perhaps some of the companies are just doing that. So applying is just pointless, or you're rejected right from the start. You don't even know about it. Could be. I mean, I don't know, but could be. The other possibility is that they are looking for someone very specific. They very specifically know who they want, and they just can't find such a person, which makes sense. I would think it is. If you really want, or consider this, if you're looking for someone with specific competencies in a specific piece of software or specific technology, and your requirement is that you need to have 5 years of experience in this technology, and either it's a very legacy technology that nobody works with anymore, so even if you have some experience in it, it's not anything recent. Or the technology is new, the technology has been around for 5 years, and they require 5 years of experience in that technology. I'm just speculating. I don't know one bit. Let's call this updated BIOS backup. Now, and this is original BIOS, right? So first let's erase the chip and flash the old one. So this is kind of a high bar, but what I think is actually happening is, well, based on my job search so far and what I see at least on LinkedIn, I have to start looking for stuff on jobs.com or Indeed and stuff. I did apply to some on Indeed last week. I even had some interaction. It actually seemed a little better on Indeed as far as the, maybe not success ratio, but at least the response ratio, that there's someone on the other side. On LinkedIn, I just, it just feels like there's no one on the other side, Like my resume just goes to the black hole and nothing happens to it. No one even sees it. And it's just, I'm just like playing in the casino with the machine and just putting in the quarters, and no one even sees that resume of mine, and no one reads it, so no one is going to reach out to me. That's what it feels like lately. But the majority of that is that there's just no jobs. I mean, so the advice was specialize in something. As I said, I am specialized in, actually I'm very well specialized in some things, but I looked for jobs today. I went through the entire list of availability on LinkedIn, and there was just one actual job and one equity only, right? Some startup from California. I'm not sure what exactly they mean by equity only, meaning is there actual payout? So do I get paid based on the revenue this month, right? I get my 2% of revenue, or I just get equity, right, after some time, and then I can sell it, which means for months I work for free. I have no idea. No idea if they actually continue paying you, and the pay is related or proportional to how much money the company makes, and yeah, I apply to it anyways, because at this point that I'll just maybe not like I'll take everything, or I'll take anything, but I will apply to anything, right? And I don't know if I'm gonna take it or not. It's a bit too early for desperation, but 17 days or 16 days with no results, pretty much zero results, or maybe some inquiries and stuff, but essentially for 16 days I had no results. This is not the experience I'm used to. So it is completely different from what it used to be just a few years ago. And the only hope that I have is that, well, now we started what month? August. So it's still still considered a vacation, or still summer month, right? So I'm thinking this month is gonna be probably all month like this. But next month I'm expecting that the market is gonna move a little. So maybe it's good that I have a little head start. But that's, at this point, is just my speculation. I have no idea what is gonna happen. I told you guys I was thinking of just getting a job here locally as a auto technician, and I googled whether you need certification to be an auto technician. And not only you need the certification, but you also need a certification in emissions and stuff, right? I'm not even sure. I probably should do the emission check on my car, but I've never done it on my Chevy. But I think I'm gonna have to do it on my Subi, because it seems to be required here. It wasn't in Wyoming, but here it seems to be required. So I don't think that. I was just kind of keeping that as a backup, right? It's like something that I could do, and maybe auto technician job doesn't pay that well, but it also is not low paying job either. It's not high paying job, but it's not low paying job either. So it's better than working in retail. But that kind of bummed me out, because I was thinking that I always have that option, but it turns out I do not have that option. So now I don't know. Maybe but there are no repair shops. If I even wanted to go work in a repair shop, there are no repair shops anymore. There are online repair shops like mine, but nothing local. It's those times are, and the same with the electronics retail stores, right? Like Radio Shack and stores like that, not existing anymore. That's how our world has changed, and now the job market is suffering from that. It actually is suffering from all kinds of repercussions of all kinds of good times that were just a few years ago. Started maybe a decade and a half ago, and last decade. It was great. It was that was the time to be a software engineer. I would, when I started, I would double my salary every year, because I would go to work for another company. So pretty much every year my salary would double for the first 3 years. Then I would still get bumps, and like every couple years my salary would be significantly higher than the previous one. and that has stopped like a couple years ago maybe, right? And it doesn't work like that anymore. So I wish I knew I was in the good times back then. Wouldn't that be great if you knew that you are in good old times right now? Prepare for the future, because good old times are not gonna last. So now we're in a bounce back period, basically, right? It was really great. We were spoiled as software engineers. We were spoiled by the job market, by the number of companies hiring and the paychecks they were offering and all that. And now it's time to get off the ride and now stand in line again. That was Eli, the computer guys. You probably have heard of him if you're in this kind of business. He put it really well. That really resonated with me. That metaphor of going to the amusement park, and when you look at the amusement park from the outside, you only see those people on the rides having fun. But those people, to get on those rides, had to stand in line maybe for hours to get on that ride, and then they have 5 or 10 minutes on the ride, and then they need to get off the ride and stand in line again. So when you look at it from the outside, then you think to yourself, this is so awesome. You don't actually see what they had to do to get on that ride. So I've been on my ride for past maybe 5-6 years, and it was fun. Now I get off the ride, and now I have to stand in line again. So that's the way it works. Okay, it started on the old BIOS. Now let's see if it's gonna boot. Okay, it turned off, and it's gonna turn on again because it's new BIOS. That's normal. Let's hope the PCH is not gonna burn because I didn't put the heatsink back on. Okay, it booted on the old BIOS. Oh, and it turned off again. Okay, let's just put this maybe, because there's Windows NVMe on the board, so it will boot to Windows. Yeah, it's booting to Windows, and it's in Windows. So what is wrong with this board? So it doesn't work on i5, right? After BIOS update, it still doesn't work on i5, but it doesn't even boot. Arch, can you turn it a little lower? Thank you. So after BIOS update, it still works, or did work, on i3. It tried to boot to Windows. Then I switched to i5. It still wouldn't work, right? So I switched back to i3. It still wouldn't work. Now I reverted the BIOS to the original one that came from with this board. I mean, I don't know if it is the original one. Maybe it was updated before, but the latest BIOS update doesn't resolve the problem with i5 compatibility, which we still kind of don't know if the CPU is working. I mean, I bought it as working, but you never know. So maybe the CPU is faulty, or the CPU is plainly not compatible with this board, and the BIOS doesn't really have anything to do with it. It's very unlikely because it's i5 7th generation. I wouldn't expect it to be not compatible, like plainly not compatible with the board. But it works on i3, and it works on the old BIOS. So what do we do with this? What is wrong with this board? I don't want this board to be wasted with i3 6th generation. You know, it's a gaming board. It needs at least i5. I was hoping to put like i7 on it, you know. And yeah, well, if you guys have any suggestions, any ideas, what could be the issue with it, definitely drop it in the comment. I would like to have this board repaired and compatible with i5 7th generation, this CPU. If you guys have any ideas what could be causing this behavior, do let me know. But at least what we have is technically working board on i3. Technically working. I mean, I'll probably install some software on it, on the NVMe, and give it like some tests, some benchmarks or something like that, just to confirm that it's working. And I don't know, maybe I'll try reflashing again with the flash tool, or I'll just reflash, just get the BIOS again. I have the BIOS from the website, and just flash it directly onto the chip, bypassing the flash tool on the board, and see what happens. Yeah, there are a few things I can check. Oh, and last one I forgot to mention. Last time it stopped working after I reset the CMOS with the pins. So maybe that is part of the puzzle. Could be. Well, anyways, there is my doggy, my favorite dog. And well, anyways, I'm gonna think about it a little more. If you do have any ideas, do let me know. And I guess I will search for some jobs to apply to. I think since I finished my side project, I will do the coding session today on my other channel. If you guys are interested in that, although there's not a lot of interest in that, which is fine. I don't really do it for views at this point. It just, I don't have a job, so that is my job. I gotta do something. I gotta keep myself occupied, and I'll probably do some get some ECMs to be listed on eBay. See if I can sell some of them, because I have a pretty good stack of them, and that'll hopefully bring a few bucks so I can extend my job searching period, by a few weeks. But actually, I still haven't received the severance from the company, which is weird, because they should have received the computer by now. So I would expect the severance to clear. And there was some issue with taxes, and I'm still getting a little bit of refund, the tax refund for this for the previous year. Yeah, like not huge money, but it's good. So that allows me to extend my job search period by weeks again. So it's not like I have a ground burning under my feet, but I would like to have at least some results, at least some interviews. I haven't had a single interview other than talking to some recruiters and stuff. but not a single interview. So again, that's not something that I am used to, but that is something that I have to get used to, I guess. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you a lot. And I guess I shall see you in the next one, which is tomorrow. Thank you guys very much.